Hello, hello. Welcome to my show. This is my first time ever doing anything live like this. So first of all, I want to thank God for giving me this opportunity. And then I also want to thank Reg for kind of talking me into doing this. Welcome to the My Spa Bath and Body Show. What I am going to do today, again, my name is Margaret Harris, and my company is My Spa Bath and Body Products. What we'll be doing in this half hour every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30 is talking about natural skincare products. What we want to do is make sure everybody knows what they're using on their skin. The motto of My Spa Bath and Body Products is handmade, affordable luxury products. So that's what we're going to do. Who is that? Is that Peggy? Hey, Peggy. So anyway, on my first episode, what I'm going to do is just talk about soap, because that's how I got started, is making soap. And as a matter of fact, even before I started on this journey, I would always buy different types of luxurious soaps and lotions and all of that. And then in 2014, a voice came to me while I was on my way to a retail chain to buy, hundreds of dollars worth of soap, was, why don't you make soap? And I've never been a person to make anything. So when I heard that, I knew that was the Lord. So since 2014, I've been making products and formulating and just loving the whole experience. So right here, if you can see, if you're on VoxWave, but if you're not, I'm gonna put this like this. That is my website, as well as the first one is if you want to buy something. The second one is if you want more information. I'll be posting a lot of health information and all of that on there once we get started. So first of all, I'm going to talk about soap. So everybody just thinks that soap is something that you cleanse with, but really it is something that is a chemical reaction between a fat and a lye kind of product. So if you want a bar soap like this, or like some of my soaps, then that would be sodium hydroxide with the fat. Or if you have a liquid soap like this one, or mine, yay, then it's going to be potassium hydroxide, because that's what makes it a liquid. So I'm going to give you some information, because what I'm going to do is educate you right now, and then as our show grows, we will start having guests, and I'll announce our next guest for next week toward the end of the show. So I'm going to get real academic on you. So in chemistry, a soap is a salt of a fatty acid, which is, it could be animal fat, or it can be a vegetable fat, or anything like that, with a lye. And you put it together, and a soap is just a chemical reaction. That's all it is. So when you put those two together, you have a chemical reaction, and we call it soap. But really, it can serve as a lubricant. This product that you get when you combine those, it can serve as a lubricant, and it just also happens to keep you clean. Okay? So what happens is that it comes on your skin, or whatever the surface is, it attaches to it, and then it brings it off of the surface, be it your skin or your table or whatever. It brings it off and makes it so you can wash away. Okay? So that's all the soap is. So some of them have thickeners and different types of things. So like I said, it's a bunch of different byproducts that come together when you put this alkali and the fat together. So what happens is you get all types of acids. And remember, acid is just a matter of the pH, okay? So any type of fat is made of an acid, okay? So when you say acid, don't think that it's something that's going to burn you up. It's just a matter of that pH, okay? Because, we know of all kind of incidents where bad things happen. So anyway, like I said, so you put these two together and you get all of these different byproducts, including glycerin and all of that. So One of the things that was used when we first started making soap was we were using fat. Okay, so tallow, which is a rendered beef fat. Okay, and that's not such a bad thing to have, because like if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you are, hunting bear or elk or whatever, and you want to keep everything, or even just for sportsmen and hunters, they will make soap out of that bear fat, or like I said, beef fat. And so whenever you see tallow or tallowate, then that means that it has animal fat in it. Okay? Otherwise, most of the time you use vegetable oils like palm oil, you use coconut oil, olive oil, and laurel oil. Okay, so each one of these oils makes it a distinct feel. Okay, so some of the acids, and we'll talk about this, we'll be using these terms as we continue with the show, are lauric acid, myristeric acid, palmitic acid, oleic acid, linoleic acid, and linoleic acid. But lauric acid we're going to talk about a little bit more, okay, because right now I have a lot of different soaps that I'll be presenting, just so you know what's in it. Okay, so there used to be a time when there was no soap, okay? Can you imagine that? That there was no soap, no way to cleanse yourself except with oils, and you put oils and ashes together, and that would be your soap. And so you put it on and then use something to scrape it off with the dirt. That's kind of crazy. That was like in 2800 BC. Okay, and then we come to, the times during the Egyptians and all of that, where they're still trying to figure out a way to make soap. And as a matter of fact, it was seen as something that was a luxury. So nobody really had it. So that was kind of interesting for me to find that out. So what happens is that eventually in like the 16th and 17th century, they started coming together and making different soaps and things like that. And they're still not making pure soap as we know it today. But thankfully, a couple of people came along. William Gossage produced low-priced, good-quality soap from the 1850s. Another person named Robert Spear started manufacturing soap powder in 1837. And then William Lever and his brother James bought a small soap works and founded what is still one of the world's largest soap companies, Unilever. Okay, so we're going to learn about what's in this. This one is a lot of fun, trying to figure out what's in here. But anyway, so now we are in the 1865s, and guess what the next soap to come out was that was like massively produced? Was palm olive. Yay, palm olive. And that's because it was made out of palm oil and olive oil. So just letting you know that's kind of how that goes. So when you're making soap, there's a couple ways that you can do it. You can do it through what's called a cold process, where you take the lye and the fat and you put it together, and there's certain formulas that you use. You pour it into a mold and you wait 6 to 7 weeks for it to harden and be ready to use. Now, believe it or not, some people, when they're making this soap, in order to test if it's ready or not, they stick their tongue on the soap to see if it will burn, which is kind of crazy. People still do that. I don't, but people do. But that's a way to know if that lye has calmed down, okay? Another way that you can do it is in a crock pot. And the crock pot kind of resembles how they make soap in mass process. So you still put the fat and the lye together, and you put it in a crock pot and you cook it. That doesn't take as long to make. And both of these produce all of your different acids that I talked about before. So then the next way that you can do it is to buy this buy soaps that have already been processed, which is what I do, because my goal is to introduce aromatherapy into the soaps, to introduce different types of oils into the soaps. So I'm not so concerned with the artistry of making the soap, but more so delivering what I think is really good for your skin. So that is kind of how I work that. And so if you have any questions or anything, hey, Craig, hi, Cleveland in the house. I am broadcasting out of Maryland, but I'm loving seeing some Cleveland in the house. Yay. Hey, Lori. Ski-wee. Oops, that kind of got away from me. Anyway, if you have any questions or you want to call in, you can call at 240-719-2560. That's VoxWave's direct line. It is 240-719-2560. Okay? So I have people watching. Yay! Okay. So, like I said, you make even with the way that I do it, I still heat the product up, melt it down, and put it into different molds. And so what I have here, and what we'll be talking about, is a lot of the different types of soaps that I make and the ingredients. So, for example, this is an oatmeal, jojoba oil, and has jojoba grains in it. And so during my shows, as the weeks go on, I'll be presenting, the benefits of jojoba oil, the benefits of oatmeal on your skin. And see, for my soaps, what I do is I have that line through there, and that's where you know what the oil is. So my soaps are made to cleanse and moisturize at the same time. So in coming shows, I'll be talking about this and talking about different products that you can make at home for your own skincare. I'm not going to sell anything that has eggs or fresh milk or anything like that to you, but all of those things are great for your skin. Like this one is my peppermint soap, and what that has is babasu oil in it. And it has soy as well as babasu oil, and it's scented with rosemary and peppermint. And what that does, it's going to wake you up. But again, I'll have different episodes where we talk about the different essential oils. And then sometimes I get fancy and make little soaps, and this one is an olive oil-based soap. I put the olive oil right in there. And then I get a little creative and put little stripes and stuff like that in there, and it smells really good. So, again, you have to watch in order to see what's going on. Okay? So those are my soaps. Okay? So what I want to do, though, is a lot of people, I do a lot of vending, and it's so funny because, so I'm sitting there, right, and I have my regular little soap, and they'll come and people are like, what's in this? What's in this soap? What's in this? Of course, the funny thing is that small business owners have the hardest time sometimes, but that's okay because I'm not afraid of that, because I'm willing to compete on any level. So that's just kind of how I roll. So anyway, what I want to do right now is talk about what's in some of these soaps, okay? So, yeah. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Dial soap, okay? Hey, man. Hey, Angie. Hi. I'm going to shout out whoever. How you doing? Anyway, so the first one I'm going to talk about is Dial soap. Dial soap. And what I'm going to be doing is I don't have an opinion or anything like that. I just want you to know what's in the soap. But first we're going to take a break and have a commercial. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this Facebook Live. I guess y'all got to watch me break, huh? I'll be right back.
I can remember stories, those things my mother said. She told me fairy tales before I went to bed. She spoke of happy endings
on voxwave.com. Hey, Walter, are you in Arizona? You're somewhere. Hey. So again, I am my spa, Margaret. Here are my website addresses if you want to order something. I think I'm going to give you all a discount. Everybody watching, give me an hour. I'm going to put it up on, and I'm going to put a discount of 15% on everything you buy. So give me a minute, and I'm going to call it, the coupon code will be 15% off, and it'll be called VOX1 to go. VOX, the number 1, the number 2, and then go. Okay? Oh, you're in St. Louis. Hey, Walter, Edwardsville, Illinois. He went to Kennedy, too. Yay, in Cleveland, Ohio. Yay. Okay, so back to the matter at hand. We're talking about soap, and I'm going to tell you what's in this Dow soap. Okay, so remember a lot of things that I said earlier, and I'm not making it up. It's right on here, and you can go to the store. And this is Dow White Cleansing Non-Drying. Okay, and you have to know that everything's listed by the amount of it, the substance. So, okay, so first of all, we have soap, of course, sodium tallowate. So what is sodium tallowate? Is a true soap created when a fatty acid from animal comes into contact with lye, and it makes the soap. It's rendered, and many times it's rendered beef fat. Okay? It may cause eczema and blackheads, and it can be found in wax paper, crayons, margarine, paints, rubber, lubricants, and candles, soaps, lipsticks. So that's sodium tallowate. So when you're looking at the label, tallowate, you know it's beef fat. Okay? The next item is sodium palmate. Okay? And so that's palm oil. Now, interesting thing to know is that when I look over here. Okay. So when with palm oil, the interesting thing I found out when I started making soap was that palm oil causes orange orangutans to be homeless. So that's why you have to make sure that when you buy products with palm oil in there, that it is sustainable. Would you make up your mind? Okay, so palm oil is a very controversial product because in Central Asia, what's happening is the deforestation of the forest. And the orangutans live in the forest, and they don't have any place to live, and they don't have any palm leaves to eat. So I don't put palm oil in my stuff because I don't want to have orangutans on my brain when I go to sleep. Orangutan. See, you learned something. The next thing on here is sodium cocoate, and that is coconut oil. Okay? It's derived from combining coconut oil with a sodium hydroxide base. Okay? So that's what that is. And then in here, it also has talc. Okay? So talc is a natural occurring mineral. I can't figure out why they have talc in here, but I mean they're Dow. They kind of, I guess they know why. It has this powder has the ability to absorb moisture, absorb oils, odor, serves as a lubricant, and produce an astringent effect on the human skin. So it kind of can dry it out, you know. And so that's why you want that. And they use it in antiperspirants. And we always heard about the poor lady that used to use talcum powder, baby powder. But like I said, the FDA says that even though things happen, they're saying that these studies have not conclusively demonstrated such a link, or if such a link existed, what risk factors might be involved. Yeah, well, Johnson getting ready to pay out, so that's kind of how that works. The next thing that's in here is glycerin, which is, like I say, a byproduct of soap. And actually, glycerin is the best thing that comes out of soap. A lot of times they drain off what comes out, but my soaps are glycerin based. And glycerin is excellent because it is very moisturizing, very smooth, and is a humectant, which means it draws moisture into the skin. Okay, coconut acid is in here too, and we all know about what we say about coconut oil, but be careful about coconut oil using that on your hair, because even though it's good for most people, like I can't use coconut oil because I have a certain buildup of protein in my natural hair shaft, and it's going to break it out. And it's unusual because when I mentioned that on Facebook a few months ago, people were like, oh my gosh, it was happening to me too, but you felt kind of weird. Well, that's why you have to kind of know what's going on with you. Hey, Ken. Boy, Kennedy's showing out. Mighty Fighting Eagles are supporting me, and I love it. Okay, back to the matter at hand. Okay, the next thing that's in here is it has something called PEG 6-methyl ether, which is a solvent. So that's going to break down the oils. And it's an extract of juniper, which is good. The next thing it has is tetrasodium I don't know, these words are so long. Tetrasodium editoriate. And what that does is it helps with let me just go. It helps to stop growth of mold in different organisms. So that's a bit of a preservative, okay, which is good. They just have a little bit of it. And they've concluded that it's safe. So now you know about Dow soap. Okay? Put that away. Dove. Okay. People love Dove. So when I told you about the regular Dow soap, then you kind of recognize everything. This right here, trying to read the label on this, is alphabet soup. I'm not even joking. Okay, but this is Dove, this is Unilever. So remember, they were among the first to make soap, and they made it basic, but now this right here, whew, look, I was thinking I was going to have to do some lip exercises so I can get ready to read these labels, because it's not like what I said here. I got 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to read them off. Cocamidopropylbutane, that's in here. Sodium hydroxyprofyl starch phosphate, which is an abrasive. Okay. Then it has lauric acid in there, which is good. That is an acid that's very good for your skin. I have it here in this soap right here, but my label is not like, you don't have to do all that. Okay, so the next thing it has in here, and we'll talk about lauric acid, which is something that's in here. The next thing it has in here is, hey, Wilda, sodium lauryl glycinate, which is, that is a, this is synthetic. It says a good synergistic effect with anionic, cationic, and zwitterions. What is a zwitterion as co-surfactant? You ever heard of that? A zwitterion. So that's what's in here, zwitterions. I'm just telling you what's in here, okay? But it helps with hard water. So this, let me keep going. Sodium lauryl isothenate. That is from, I don't even know where that's from. But this is supposed to be a gentle surfactant, which pulls it off your skin. Hydrogenated soybean oil. Ah, yay. Guar hydroxypropyltrimonium chloride. That's what's in here. That's a derivative of guar gum. DMDM hydrodentonin. What it does is it releases formaldehyde to kill microorganisms. Yay. Citric acid. That is, we'll talk more about citric acid on another program. Then there's methylcithiazolonimone. Nanone. And that was called the allergen of the year. From a New York Times article in 2015, they said a dermatitis society named that particular ingredient allergen of the year. Okay, so, and then the last one, I'm not even going to try to read it. Iodopropanila butyl carbamate, which retards bacterial growth. Okay, so that's what's in here. Okay, so now you know, you're educated. Mine, I do have a shower gel, okay? And it has potassium oleate. Well, it's made out of coconut oil and sunflower oil. And remember, I told you when you add potassium hydroxide to it, that's when you get all these byproducts. But I'll read you what's in mine. Water, potassium oleate, potassium cocoate, glycerin, potassium citrate, citric acid, sucrose, which is sugar. I use that to make the bubbles. Sodium chloride, which I use as a thickener. Cherry kernel oil to moisturize your skin. Patchouli essence, essential oil and fragrance. And that's in this patchouli patch. And as you can see, it's just like anything that you buy in the store, but you can buy it from me. So that's the only commercial I'm going to do right now. Next week, my guest is going to be Lonnie Walker, the owner of LRW World Gear. He's going to be here to talk about bike safety. That's one of the locations that where you can find my soap. This Friday, if you're in the DC area, I will be at Everlasting Life. I'm usually there between 6 and 9 p.m. And you can buy my items at Key to Impressions on Georgia Avenue in Washington, D.C., and at the Beauty Supply Store located across from Andrews Air Force Base, right next to Popeyes. So, you know, once you eat all that fatty food, you can go over and buy some of my soap and clear up all that acne. My half hour is up, Ron. Yay! Well, thank you for joining me. Again, Sam. Hey, Sam, did your skin burn out? You tried my eucalyptus. Kennedy is showing out. Wilda, Ski Wee with the AKA, as well as Barbara Wallace. We're getting ready to go out now.